Oh man, I am getting super excited. We are getting ready for our next big trip. My buddy Rich and myself are heading down to Baja. It's going to be an epic adventure. Cannot wait. We leave in 1 week. So really getting stoked, really getting close to the time we got to leave. But there's a few details I got to take care of with the Gladiator to make sure it's ready to go. I'm going to go over some of the things that I've already got completed and things that I'm going to be doing today and tomorrow to get everything ready. I'll show you all that. I'll show you some of the things that we're taking in preparation just to make sure that if things happen, we're kind of covered. In terms of general maintenance on here, oil change, air filter, that type of stuff, all done. Tires rotated and balanced, got that done. All the control arms for the suspension, because this is the Clayton Lift Premium, so I've got to grease those joints once in a while. So I'm going to grease those, make sure that they're ready to go. So all the general maintenance stuff is either done or is getting done today or tomorrow. And then we have a handful of things that we need to do in the back and in the cab, stuff like that. I'm going to show you all the stuff and why we're doing certain things. So first, I'm going to take you up front, show you a couple upgrades that we did to kind of get ready for this. We knew this was coming and we wanted to make sure that I had everything in place. So some of this stuff has been done for a little while. You may have seen some of it in other videos. Others I just actually finished. So let me take you up front and let me show you what we got going on up there. First off, I just replaced the winch line. So this is the open road winch. Been super happy with it. It's done a lot of recoveries, some of myself, and it's worked great, but I wanted a better winch line, and I have the one on the JL, and we just got it on here. This is the Bleepin Winch Line 4.0, brand new version. This one just came out, which is why I hadn't done it earlier, because I knew this new version was coming. I wanted to make sure I had the latest and greatest on here. So the Bleepin Winch Line 4.0, there's no metal hooks, there's no clamps, nothing like that in the recovery. It's all this synthetic line material. Makes it lighter, which is always good. Saving weight on the rig is always important. It may only be a few pounds, but every little bit adds up. Super fast to deploy. I love the Bleepin Winch Line 4.0. Now, we also have replaced the lights on here. These are the Tyree IntelliLights up front. Really nice, bright lights. And these things are immaculately tested. They're done in like salt baths and heat rooms and cold rooms, all that good stuff, because they're certified for use in like salt mines and for the military. So very heavy duty lights, never going to give me an ounce of problem. The IntelliLights have a cool feature. There's a Bluetooth app that connects to them, and I can switch them from white to amber or in between. I can have 50-50. I can have all the whites on and all the ambers on. I can dim them, all kinds of stuff. So very cool lights on the bumper for my general off-road use. Up on the cowls, we've got another set of Tyree lights that are just kind of our side lights, our ditch lights. Again, super reliable, super tough, not gonna have any problems with those. So I love the Tyree lights. I think they look cool, and they are super rugged, and the way I abuse stuff, that's really important. So that's why I went with the Tyree lights. Let's go look at some more stuff. Well, next on the list is communications. And while I've got good handhelds, I really prefer to have a mobile unit inside the vehicle. It's just more power, better antenna, better range, and all that. So if we start getting separated, it's a lot easier to stay in communication when we both have mobile units. And the one I've been using for a while is this Retevis RA87. The problem is well, first off, it is a dual channel, so it can work on, there's like basically 2 different radios in here. In Alaska, one of the channels died, and not a big deal. I don't really ever use the two channel functionality, but recently the other channel died. So this is now a paperweight. So what I did is I replaced it with a Midland MXT 575. So I love this radio. It's been working great in the JL for a few years. So that's what I'm going to run in here. Not a change I wanted to do because I have other things I'd rather be doing than wiring in here, but it's just one of those things that had to get done. Well, now that's done, on to the next project. Okay, another kind of upgrade we're doing on the Gladiator today is the Oracle flush mount LED lights. Now, I've had these on Optimus for a few years now and been very happy with them. And the reason why I call this an upgrade is there's two reasons. Number one, on the stock LED lights here, the backup light here isn't the greatest. It works, but it could be brighter. The backup light on this is much better. So easier to see when we're backing up. And because they set flush, there's less sticking out to hit, which is exactly why I replaced them on Optimus a few years ago, is because I slid backwards into a tree and crushed the OEM. And so putting these flush mount ones, there's less sticking out, so it's less likely to get damaged. So two big reasons why we're going to there. Now, all we need to do, or all we need to have to install this is an 8mm ratchet. There's two screws on each side. We take those screws out, the light comes out, we unplug it, we plug the new ones in. It's pretty simple. Now, if you have the sensors in there, there is a way of moving that sensor over, and we'll take a look at that when we pull this off. So let's get these unscrewed, and we'll show you what it's all about. Now, there's a little tab on here. Oh, that actually came out pretty easily. Get that tab off. And once we have the old plug out, it's time to connect the new one. Now, if you have the sensor module, you'll take these 4 screws out, put the module in here, and attach it back in. And then part of this harness has the connector for those pieces. But right now, I don't need that. We're just going to drop everything into the hole. Plug it in, push the tab in, and then there's these 2 prongs here that go into these holes. So make sure your wires are out of the way. I put the bottom one in, get the top one in, and it's ready to secure. Now, should just be an easy matter of getting the screws back in. We're using the same screws that we took out. It doesn't come with new ones. You're going to use the stock ones. We're going to get the first one in, but we're not going to tighten it all the way down yet. We're going to make sure everything is lined up well before we snug everything down. Because I can see right here already, it's not lined up perfect. I'm going to get that screw in. Then I'm just going to come over, hold it nice and snug. I'm going to make sure it's nice and lined up, nice and snug. And then I'll just go ahead and tighten these down. Now, while I'm doing this, I'll show you an image or little. While I'm doing this, I'll show you a video from last night with the stock ones in there and how they light up the driveway and the garage door. And then when we're done, we'll wait till night and we'll do it again with these so we can see the difference. Again, we're not gonna cinch them down super tight. Look at that. Those look great. This smoked look with the black Gladiator, yeah, these are gonna look sharp. Now you'll notice in the bag are 2 additional wires. These are little resistor packs. So you only need to install those if you're having problems with the reverse lights. It says on here, only use if the reverse lights shut down when in use. Now, I'm coming from LED lights to begin with. I shouldn't have any problems, but if you're coming from halogens, then you want to go in, you want to make sure you have a taser and go into the settings and turn on the LED lights. That should be all you need to do to get them working. So we'll go to the other side, get this one installed, and then we'll see how it looks. Yeah, these are sweet looking on here. Love that look. A lot flusher. Gonna have some brighter backup lights, less things to hit on here, and this smoked on here with the black. Yeah, that looks sexy. All right, time to get on to the next project. Those Oracle tail lights made quite the difference. A lot brighter, really gonna make it a lot safer and easier if I need to back up at night. So that was a good upgrade. Plus, they just look cool. The next thing is a little more functional, specific to the Baja trip. And that is, I have a refrigerator in the back seat. That's a Iceco AP L45 Pro S, something like that. It's the 45 liter Pro S. And that's going to be my refrigerator. But on a trip like this, I also need a freezer. I mean, it's a long trip. So I want to make sure that I can have some frozen food just so I don't have to buy stuff quite so often. So we're going to be putting an Iceco APL20 back here. The problem is I don't really have any way of powering it. Now, the canopy does have a 12 volt outlet over here that I could plug into it. 2 problems with that is, one, it's the cigarette lighter style port, which I absolutely despise for running a refrigerator because they have a tendency to come out. And when your refrigerator or your freezer is not plugged in, it tends to not work very well. So the solution is going to be to add another plug back here into the electronics box. Now, fortunately, a lot of the diesel heaters and refrigerators and stuff that I have came with extra power cords. And in this case, I have one that just has bare ends on it. So all I need to do is strip these down a little bit, plug them in to the aux beam switch panel in the box, and as long as I have enough room somewhere in one of the holes I popped to be able to get this wire in, which I think I can, then I should have plenty of long enough cable to plug into the refrigerator, still pull the drawer out, and everything will be good. So that's the plan. Just need to get up in there, do just a little bit of wiring, and we should be good to go. Okay, I'm in the electronics box here and made a couple little changes to keep things working as smoothly as possible. Now again, I've got the watt cycle 12 volt 314 amp hour, which is like 4,096 watt hours or something. So tons of battery capacity in here for anything that I might need. We have the Lifetime 2000 watt inverter. So that's still in here. We have a Lifetime 60 amp MPPT controller. So that's taking care of the solar panels that are on top. And we have a Victron Orion XS 1400 DC-DC battery charger. So we're charging the battery when the engine's running. We're charging it with solar panel. So we're having zero problems keeping this big battery charged up. It's working really, really well. Next, we need to get the new refrigerator wire connected, and I just have to see which of the holes, the access holes I have in here, I might be able to snake through, so I might have to move some things around a little bit. Then I'm just going to attach it to the aux beam controller board, and then we'll be able to power it from the outside. The beauty of this is that this is the same wire that is used for diesel heaters. So, depending on where I position it and such, maybe if I'm putting a diesel heater on the passenger side, then this will reach a diesel heater without any problem as well. So hopefully kind of be a two-in-one solution. So let me get fishing some wires, see if we can make this work. But that didn't take too long to fish the wires up through there. So we should be in pretty good shape. Just gonna undo the screws in the aux beam a little bit, make sure my wires are cleaned up. Slide my negative in. Now, sometimes you don't need a negative if you have everything grounded well, but in this case, things are not grounded well. A lot of this metal is aluminum, so that's not a good ground. So for every appliance or thing that I'm connecting in here, I am running separate ground wires just to make sure that I don't have any problems. And as always with any of the electronics that you're doing, make sure that you know what you're doing beforehand so that you're using the right gauge wires for everything. If you have long runs, you're going to need thicker cables to eliminate voltage drops, things like that. So if you don't know what you're doing, ask somebody, not necessarily me. I'm not the greatest electronic engineer out there. I know what I'm doing. I know enough to get by, but just double check what you're doing. All right, this is all buttoned up. I've got my power cord ready to go. So I just need to plug it into the fridge and make sure everything's working. We should be good to go. So I've got the power run. I've got the refrigerator, the APL 20 sitting up here right now. It's got no power going to it. We need to go turn on the power over on the side. With any luck, everything comes up, and then I'm going to pull this out and take it in the house because I don't leave for 5 days, and Katerina's going to pack it full of food, and then we'll bring it back out here and get it secured down. But right now, we just need to make sure that it works. Okay, I've got the aux beam controller out here, and we've got the cargo light, cargo power on. This is the fridge for inside the back seat. Our water pump back here, and I did this third one here for the bed fridge. Now, let's go over to the fridge and see if it's working. We have got power. All right. And looking at my notes here, I think I've pretty much covered all of the little projects I needed to do to get ready. The power, lubing the suspension, oil change, tire rotation, tire balance, checking all the fluids, all the torque, all that good stuff. I'm not going to go through all that in a video and walk you through all that. I think it makes a lot of sense. If you'd like to see that, then put a note in the comments. Leave me a comment, say you want to see how to grease the suspension or you want to see how to change the oil or something, and I'll be happy to do it. But for the purpose of this video, I didn't want it to be an hour long of prep. So all the projects are done. Next, I'm going to get all the extra stuff ready, spare parts and things that I think I'm going to need for the trip. And I'll show you what those extra things are. Not necessarily everything we're taking, but all the extra prep things that we're taking will be next. So let me get that started and I'll get right back to you. All right. So along with all of the regular stuff, our Instaprivy, chairs, regular camping gear, fire starters, it's our stove, propane, all the normal camping gear stuff. There's a few things that I'm taking extra than I would normally take, or more of the same thing. So we're going to talk about some of those things. Since we're going to be camping on the beach in a few locations with sand, our regular tent spikes aren't going to work. They're just smooth. They work great in, hard dirt and stuff, but in the sand, they're just going to pull right out if there's any wind. So I ordered sand spikes, and Rich ordered a set as well. So that gives us 12 of these. Should be plenty to stake down our awnings and stuff if we need to. They've got this nice corkscrew, so they should screw right into the sand and provide a much more solid connection in the sand. These were less than $10 for a 6-pack. So pretty good deal. These will be in the description if you're looking for some sand spikes. Really, really solid quality too. I'm actually pretty impressed. And they came with this little mesh carrying bag. So not bad for about $10. Second, we have an extra set of front sway bar links. And the reason for that is somehow I have broken both of my front sway bar end links, just the end link. And I've done it on both sides now. And it took over 20,000 miles before it happened. And so the two that I have on there right now are essentially brand new, but I do have a set of complete front sway bar links, top to bottom, should anything happen with that. The rear, I've swapped out to the TerraFlex sway bar kit, so I don't have any need for taking spares of the rear. So I do have spares for the front. Next, we have an extra engine air filter. Brand new air filter installed, and technically we're only going a few thousand miles, but that is going to be dry desert. It's going to be sand. It is going to kick up a lot of dust. And when we did Alaska, when we finished the Connect Glacier, you could hear the engine screaming because the air filters were so plugged up. We pulled them out. We pulled out our air compressors. We cleaned them out as best we could and got back on the road. And when I got home, I replaced it and, had to do general maintenance anyway, but replaced it because it was just trashed. So on the expectation that we may end up with some clogged air filters going through the desert and the sands, I'm bringing an extra air filter just in case. Okay. Now, one of the number one hazards going down through Baja is tire damage. And that can be in the form of ripping a sidewall. It can be driving over something and getting a puncture. And I want to make sure that I'm taken care of, because down in Baja, trying to find a Milestar Patagonia XT 13.5 by 38 by 17, it's not going to happen. I would be sitting there waiting a week or more to have a tire shipped down. I do have a full-size spare, so there is that, but the odds of taking tire damage are significantly higher there than anywhere else. Now, I have a couple, this is just one of them, I have a couple standard tire plug kits. You need to know how to use them, watch some videos on them first. These are your basic go-tos for doing just a puncture repair. I have 3 different sets of these. So I carry lots of these. New to me are these tire screws. And I don't know how well you can see that, but they're basically little silicone screws that you just screw into the hole. There's no prep, there's no sanding. Just take a Phillips screwdriver and screw that into the hole, and it says it will seal it. So I have, I think, 2 different sizes. There may be 3 different sizes in here, depending on the hole. We'll just screw these in and hopefully not have to deal with tire plugs because they're messy and they're kind of a pain in the ass. If these work, well, hopefully we don't need to use any of this stuff, right? But if we do, and we have a puncture, I'm gonna try the tire screws and see how those work. Finally, the number 1 cause of tire damage is a sidewall tear. That's ripping your sidewall on a rock. You get a tiny tear in it, and that is not fixable with a plug kit or a tire screw. So what you need for that is a glue tread kit. I have used these on trails. I have got people off trails with these things. They are super, super handy. It is basically a rubber sheet and super glue. It's the extent of it. Know how to use it. Watch the instructions first. You think you know how to use it and you don't, but if you do it right, these are super handy. Now, for our trip, I have 3 packages of them, and each package is probably good for, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 repairs out there. So we could get a lot of sidewall damage, and we have the tools from Glue Tread to take care of that. And I always carry glue treads on the trails with me, but on this trip, 3 packages of them just in case. So that's our extras for Baja. We'll go over, probably a lot of it on the trails and things, talk about the different gear that we have. And at the end, like I did for Alaska, I'll probably do a video on what things worked, what things didn't work, what things need to be changed for the next big trip. And we'll go from there. But right now, it's time to start getting things packed up because departure day is coming soon. So hopefully, if you like this video, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, hype, all that good stuff. We really appreciate it. If you want to join us on our upcoming Patreon trips, you check us out at patreon.com/trailtraveler. We appreciate all the people that are over there supporting our adventures. It really, truly means a lot to us, and we couldn't thank you more. So, time to get packing. Stay safe out there. We'll see you on the trails.